So you have to be crazy enough to learn FECO. You have to catch a teacher. You have to be madly in love with your machines and things and must know them well. Basic FECO machine is simple enough, you know that. Is a fluid coming through a bottle, irrigation tube, aspiration tube goes to the pump in the machine, and then you have foot pedal and the FECO handpiece. So it's a safe, good enough, you know now that. Simple enough FECO machine has got a three kind of panel which shows you FECO power, which shows you vacuum, and which shows the outflow of the fluid coming per minute from the chamber. Because of the machine, not that which is leaking or which is coming out of the ports and all that. So we keep on changing these things as and when we go to whatever. And you know the Venturi pump, you don't have to set the outflow, how many cc you want per minute. Peristaltic pump, we have the FECO power, we have the vacuum, and we have the outflow per minute. A device to break the nucleus, aspirate it in a stabilized chamber. That is what is most important thing about FECO, that your chamber should not collapse any time. Otherwise you will have CME, you will have problems, you will have more keratitis. So pressurized chamber is the key to the best result with the FECO. So these new machines, of course, have got a device built that chamber doesn't collapse. Or you learn it by your foot pedal. It's like a car's accelerator, brake, and clutch. That if you know their modulation, they are all mostly linear, starting from up, going down, whether it is a FECO power or it is a vacuum. And when you have to leave and off and on, I think you can stabilize your chamber even if you have got a very basic machine. Basic FECO machine, to irrigate this foot pedal at 3 positions. Irrigation is first, 2 is aspiration, and 3rd is FECO power. And they are linear one, that you don't have one. All yourself, all at one go. That mistake you do, that FECO also, you don't do that. Irrigation is of course showing that from this bottle, then it goes to the pump, and your first step goes, and then second step is irrigation plus aspiration. So this is a pump starts, and you get irrigation plus aspiration both. Emulsification is 3rd step, where you get irrigation plus aspiration plus FECO emulsification, where the piezoelectrical crystal in the handpiece start moving to and fro, and that is emulsification. It is activated by foot pedal irrigation, no linear control. It is dependent on the height of the bottle. You want to keep it more, you want to keep it less, but your outflow channel, if you increase the outflow, of course the fluid will increase itself going into the chamber. Depends on height, tube size, inflow, outflow. And next is aspiration by pedal 2, and pumps can be peristaltic, Venturi, and combined, and needle size and tube size makes a difference in the aspiration. There is a linear control, and peristaltic pump, you know that it is on the iron balls. This tube rotates and it is like esophagus or like gut. That fluid comes with and these tubes and balls and their patency, their compliance, whether they are very loose to be expanded and this one. So these days we want that tubing should be that good. Its compliance is not very good. They are rigid kind, more of a rigid kind. The Venturi pump, which we call diaphragm pump, where the gas is pushed from one side to another side and the vacuum is created. But this one is little bit sharp, that whatever you set the vacuum, it goes instantly to that, while when peristaltic has a rise time. That I put 500, I can start with 200, I keep on going linearly, 250, 300, 400, 500 like this. So you have a linear control. Depending on your piece, depending on your consistency of the piece, you can increase or decrease the vacuum by linear control, though you may have put it 400 or 500. In a hard cataract, we will put it more, 500 or 600, something like that, 500, 550. So peristaltic is a deluxe car, safe and reliable. Venture is a racing car, very fast but dangerous. These days we have got these machines mostly. Peristaltic, safe, but emulating Venturi pump. That is, a similarity of Venturi pump in these machines are that their rise time is reduced. That you want a 500, instead of 4 seconds, 3 seconds, it will take 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 seconds like that. So Venturi pump, but behaving like peristaltic. So these are the new machines, and you have sometimes a separate peristaltic and separate Venturi also. And fluid inflow depends on these equations. You don't need to remember them except the pieces. Compliance is this tube get blocked, occluded, and then vacuum makes this tube smaller. And when this piece is sucked up, occlusion breaks, it gets expanded and chamber collapse. So that is what the surge is. And this surge control is what we require in all machines, so that either you learn by your foot pedal or you have a machine which has a control on them. So outflow becomes more and it can chamber instability, collapse, and you have the problems of the choroid, retina, leakage and CMB. So that is surge. How to reduce the surge? Lower level of flow and vacuum, rigid non-compliant tubing. I told you that the tubing which doesn't expand easily, which doesn't go down easily, so non-compliant tubings give you better results. So better tubings, you will have the reduced surge. Small change in tube, phaco tip or sleeve size results in marked change in the flow. How to reduce? Venting by air or fluid. That is, machines have given that kind of a sensor in the machines now, that as soon as your occlusion is about to broken, so machine either gets stopped or it sends air or fluid back into the tubings so that chamber remains full. So this is best method of controlling the surge, and new machines have got that surge control in most of them. You can increase the bottle height, that also helps. You can put the antechamber maintainer in hard cataracts when you have shallow chamber. That also reduces the surge when you have extra fluid given by the antechamber maintainer, another bottle, and extra fluid. You can reduce the surge. Reduce the tip size, but the new machines or new machines which have got 1.8 or 1.4 size of the tip, they have problem with the hard cataracts. But that definitely will control the surge. Hard cataract will remain problem with them. How to reduce surge? This you have seen that this is the venting I was telling you, that these pores will let out either fluid enters there or air enters there. Ultrasonus energy is what we call phaco, should be applied when to contact with the cataract. So you have to have occlusion. When we titrate, frequency remains constant, but stroke length increasing. So phaco power is one stroke length 100%, stroke length half 50%, stroke length 25%, stroke length 10%, and 100%. When we say the full length stroke is, it's just about 0.1016 millimeter. So it is not 1 millimeter, it is not half millimeter, it is not 1/4 of millimeter. It is 0.1016 millimeter. Bevel and sleeve you have. Power is number of vibrations. It may be 25,000 to 45,000 per minute. And stroke length I told you is about the 3 millinches. That is about 0.1 millimeter. 0.1 millimeter. So your tip being exposed 3 millimeter or 2 millimeter or 1 millimeter doesn't make a difference. So don't be scared that if my 2 millimeter tip is exposed, it will go deeper in somewhere. It would not go deeper anywhere. 100% stroke or power means only 0.1 millimeter inside. Most of the machines standardize that, but maybe even Americans say that, maybe the machine says that, but it may not be true. Phaco tips of course come with 0, 30, 15, 45 and bent tips. We mostly in India use 30-degree tips, which has good balance of occlusion and balance of aspiration. 0 degree is 100% occlusion, 45 degree cuts more, but it doesn't occlude easily. So 30 degrees is generally universally used by all of us. The two-way phaco tip tweak jackhammer is coming from small distance and coming from large distance. So that was 25% and this was 100%. So that is jackhammer effect. Next is cavitation effect, and cavitation is like this rodent making the trench. So, and cavitation is that in front of this tip there are bubbles which coalesce and burst, and they open it. Types are longitudinal and non-longitudinal. Movements we have told. These are the straight movements. These are torsional phaco, penal mode, linear mode. Pulse mode is, of course, when you can have intermittent energy. That you can save the energy, you can save the damage to the cornea or tissue, and that is what we mostly use, pulse. So once you have occlusion, in fact, you can have on and off. You virtually eat these days all of the cataract with vacuum. If your chamber remains stabilized, you can increase vacuum to 500 or more. I generally do 450 when I am eating the nucleus. I have the set parameters of phaco 1, phaco 2 and phaco 3, I will tell you in the last. This is on and off cycles, 50% on, 50% off. Pulse mode, then there is a hyperpulse. That pulse can be even very, very small amount. Burst mode is that you start with one burst, and if you keep on going gradually down on the pedal, it might become straight, it may become linear. So burst, we call cold phacos, so-called cold phacos, that during that period only the phaco will go, rest of the time there won't be any phaco effect at all. So these are the methods. I say that phaco 1 is when I am trenching, phaco 2 when I made two pieces, and phaco 3 when I have eaten the most of the nuclei and only epinucleus or some pieces are remaining, that is phaco 3. And my parameters for this phaco 1 is when I am trenching is 40 degree power, flow 25 and vacuum 50 millimeter. Phaco 2 is I keep the power 40% with pulse. Flow with 34 to 40 cc per minute. Vacuum I take 400 minimum, can take up to 500, 550 also. So this is when I am eating the nuclei. Suppose I got a hard nuclei, I will put the 500 vacuum, I will put the outflow 40 and power will remain 40 or I can increase to 50-60 maximum. But most grade 2, 3, 4 cataract you can do with 40% power with pulse. And these days, phaco, absolute phaco power timing, we count in seconds, not in minutes. Few years back, we used to say that 3 minutes are must. Up to 3 minutes you can go. Now we say that 10 seconds, 15 seconds, that's all. Phaco 3 is when I have got small pieces and some epinucleus, 30% with pulse, flow 25 and vacuum at 120. Let's put it together. You must know your machine's wiring, bottle height yourself. You must know it, where to put the cassette. You must see that it is not entangled in a cloth or somewhere, otherwise vacuum would not build up. And many times you think what has gone wrong. Suddenly you get panicky, you start phoning the machine wala and he will say he will come after 3 days. So if you do them yourself, you would diagnose the problem also. Don't leave it to technician all the time. Thank you very much.